Digimon Ghost Game episode 29 delivered on what we were all hoping to see based on last week's 29 teaser. We knew this was a Kyoshiro and Jellymon episode, and we knew Hiro and Gamamon recently achieved Ultimate, so would this be the week when we saw Tesla Jellymon Digivolve to the next level? Sometimes Ghost Game likes to fake us out and prolong these known evolutions, but I'm happy to report that Thetismon, Jellymon's Ultimate, debuted in this very solid Kyoshiro-based episode. I think it would have been a noteworthy entry into Ghost Game even without the evolution, in my opinion, because of the fact that Kyoshiro had to really step up and not allow himself to be the cowardly, pitiful member of the group this week after encountering and coming to protect a lost little girl, Yuna-chan. This mission to return her to her mother forced him to be the adult, since the devilish Jellymon definitely wasn't going to be the adult. And yeah, since the last few weeks saw the characters kind of almost playing caricatures of themselves, the courageous leader, the scared sidekick, the damsel in distress, allowing Kyoshiro to be more than a crybaby this week kinda ruled. We'll discuss it all, as we always do, because this is the Digino. If you're new here, we've been reviewing and discussing Digimon Ghost Game every Sunday. A little PSA, I have a second channel, and this week I put up my thoughts on Appmon episodes 11 to 21. Last time I covered Appmon, I only talked the first 10 episodes, and a lot of people wanted to know my thoughts on the rest of the show, so this video is for you. I'll put a link in the comments and the bio. We also discuss Appmon versus Ghost Game in that video, which is the superior season of Digimon in my mind, and what the two shows could learn from each other, so you might enjoy the video even if you haven't watched Appmon. But back to this show, episode 29 of Ghost Game. Kyoshiro and Jellymon are in a vertical shopping center in Tokyo when the building is abruptly locked down due to a fog outside. Kyo and Jellymon find a lost girl after having a small fight about how Jellymon needs to act more like a hologram, otherwise people are going to think Kyoshiro is just insane. The little girl has lost her mom, and she's comforted by Kyoshiro because he looks just like a character named Genius in a children's anime she watches. The girl's name is Yuna-chan. I love that Kyoshiro knows of the anime but hasn't watched it. It's just a small little detail, but think of like how many times has someone asked you if you watched something and you're like, no, but I've heard of it. I don't know, I thought it was kind of funny that he knows like every anime, even the ones he doesn't watch. As we explore the mall, we encounter Kodo Kugamon, a familiar but smaller spider Digimon, different than the Dokugamon we fought in the Arukerimon episode, but we flash back to it and Jellymon confirms for Kyo and for the viewer that they're different Digimon. The fog is also making Kiyoshiro's phone have no service, presumably the same goes for everyone else inside the building. We get a couple scenes of Hiro and Ruli curiously looking on at the shopping center locked down, but this is our reason for why they don't immediately join into the episode. The mall is just crawling with those Kodo Kugamon, another episode that is not going to go over well with people who have arachnophobia. Kiyoshiro's left arm is scraped by one of the spiders and he's poisoned. It's not his bandaged arm, mind you. Jellymon declares that we need a sample of the poison to create an antidote for Kyoshiro. So now the mission is twofold. It's to find Yuna's mom and to find a sample to save Kyoshiro. Ruri and Hiro try to infiltrate and join by taking this underground train passageway that leads them underneath the mall. It's here that they meet Herrismon from Digimon Re-Arise. It doesn't amount to much, but it's a nice cameo scene from a Digimon whose game was abruptly shut down just a couple months ago. RIP Herrismon, your legacy will live on in episode 29 of Ghost Game. From here on out, things pick up action-wise and character-wise and evolution-wise, but before we go into the third act of the episode, the big finale and the reveal of Jellymon's Ultimate, let's take a minute so the sponsor of this week's review can say hello. This video is really only possible with the support of Bai. If you're an anime fan, manga fan, even a K-pop fan, you may have heard of them. Bai is a proxy shipping service, which means they make all kinds of Japanese exclusive merch available to you, wherever you are. When I was a kid, there were a million toys and games I'd see online, but I knew I could never have because they were only available in Japan. Bai is solving past me's problems by letting fans all over the world shop on Japanese storefronts like Rakuten, Mercari, and Amazon JP. You select what you want, then Bai essentially purchases it on your behalf and sends it to you wherever you are on Earth. I used Bai to get extra DIM cards for my Vital bracelet so I could add to my digital monster collection, and with how much cool merch is coming for Digimon Survive, Digimon Ghost Game, and all the merch for other popular anime like Dragon Ball Super and Demon Slayer, it could all be yours through Bai. There's even a special offer for viewers of this channel. If you sign up to Bai for the first time using the link in my description, you're going to get a 2,000 yen coupon for your first order. That's around $20 US off just for signing up and just for being a fan of this channel. It's never been a better time to sign up, honestly. Thanks to Bai for sponsoring the video. Now back to the discussion. When we cut back to Kyoshiro, both arms have been infected, which is to say the poison is spreading quickly. We also realize the source of the poison is on the roof. I mentioned this in the intro, but Kyoshiro is being more brave than ever for this little girl. It's great to see. Sometimes what forces people to grow is to trade places, trade roles. He's used to having Hiro or Ruri around who can play the role of the brave one so that he can allow himself to be scared and vocal about it. Here, he's partnered with a little child, so he kind of has to be the brave one. It's kind of funny that once he enters the AR field, which is a place Yuna can't follow him him into, he's back to freaking out. I think it was technically because he hit his head as he tripped and that like reset the way he viewed the situation, but I kind of like the idea that because the little girl can't see him, now he's allowing himself to be horrified and be loud about it. It ends up being Thetismon on the roof that is creating the poison. Tesla Jellymon takes this very seriously, noting how potent poison from this particular Digimon is. She tells Kyoshiro, at this rate you're going to be a puddle, just pretty brutal. He begins to collapse, overwhelmed and disoriented by the poison. He says, I couldn't do it. He's passing out when he gets a call from Hiro. We then flash back to Hiro and Gamamon's fight with Myotismon, plus Ruli and Angoramon's battle with Skull Greymon in that dream world a few weeks prior. Why these two episodes are shown, I'm not really sure what their significance is, but he says, if it were you, you wouldn't give up, referring to all of his teammates. I like that he's inspired by both Ruri and Hiro and not just one or the other. He goes on to say, I'm your senpai, I can't be the one to give up this fight. I'm no hero, even now I want to run away, but I won't give up today. I like all of this, and just like when Hiro helped Gamamon achieve Kano Weissmon because he wanted to fight with him, pain and all, it is Kiyoshiro's willingness to endure the poison that allows Tesla Jellymon to evolve into Ultimate here. I also thought it was cool that they put in the effort to show Kiyoshiro with the virus pulsing through his kind of character model in the evolution sequence. That was a nice touch. I assume it won't always be there. As for Thetismon, I really love the design here. This keeps happening to me. I need to learn my lesson, but I admit I wasn't super in love with the key art of Jellymon's Ultimate when we saw it a few months back through the Vital Bracelet rollout, but I love how she looks here. The same thing happened with Kano Weissmon. I thought his original art was just okay, and then I came to love the way it was shown in Ghost Game. Thetismon is somehow like a mix between Jellymon, Angelomon, and Lilymon. She has the cute charm and kind of flower petal skirt of Lilymon, but is presented with a certain divinity that feels like Angelomon and how she is this heavenly being. The fight itself with Thetismon is pretty short and not high in action or animation chops. It's really a thing where Thetismon counters the poison attack with a stronger poison attack, I guess, almost like a beam struggle, before she supplies an antidote to Kyoshiro and to everyone else in the area. Her supplying the antidote to everyone was another kind of moment where she was very angelic, healing all the people in the building and the surrounding areas. Bystanders even snap photos of her and refer to her as a goddess. It's interesting, and I hope the photos of Thetismon result in more people beginning to ask questions about Digimon in this world, but sadly, based on Ghost Game's track record, I'm worried that literally everyone will forget this happened next week by episode 30, but I'd love to be proven wrong. Back on the rooftop, Thetismon explains that he was releasing the poison not in an attempt to harm anyone, but to send a signal back to his pack, to the other Thetismon. He was separated from the others and wanted to be found. I found this a little bit corny, but it made me realize it's been a while since we've had one of these classic Ghost Game misunderstanding villains, so sure, I'll take it, it's fine. The gang reunites and Jellymon just wants everyone to know how cool she was and encourages everyone to praise her and all that jazz. Angoramon ends with a little poem, as always, saying, the arrogant jellyfish is sometimes a goddess, all is right with the world. Like I said in the opening, pleasantly surprised with this one. I have to be honest, I was feeling a little tired of Ghost Game after the last two episodes, and after watching more of Appmon, which is a very similar show, very similar season of Digimon, that show accomplished so much story-wise in the same amount of time, the same amount of episodes, and it left me feeling bitter and perhaps unfairly bothered by Ghost Game's pacing. I still want to see Ghost Game deliver more on all of its story promises, like the coolest Gamamon stuff, the Black Agumon, the Black Tail Maneuver, all those threads they're just waiting and waiting to expand on. But as a single episode of Ghost Game, 29 was great, an awesome new Digimon and a good bit of growth for one of our leads with Kyoshiro. Of course, let me know what you thought of this episode by leaving a comment below. Subscribe if you haven't already, it would mean the world, and please, if you have 10 or so minutes, head to my second channel and watch that new video where I talk about Ghost Game versus Appmon. I really want that channel to get 4,000 watch hours. That's what you need to get that official partner status or whatever it's called. Even if you haven't watched Appmon, it might be interesting to hear what this other Digimon series did a few years ago and how it compares. Alright, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.